This was an example, yet another, of lower tech combatants gaining the upper hand, at least temporarily, against a much higher tech opponent. This seems to be a recurring theme in recent conflicts. This so-called smart fence was obviously a multi-billion dollar project, finished 2 years ago, equipped with hundreds of cameras, radars, sensors, automatic machine guns, and yet it was breached, the IDF said, at almost 30 points. Primarily, you had Hamas drones dropping grenades on observation towers and simply snipers taking out observation positions as well, then bulldozers smashing through. So it seems to have been a shockingly simple breach of a very complex defense system.
We've seen some protesters, some families of the hostages, saying that, accusing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of sleeping on the job. Now, despite that failure, technology that you've been looking into, the fact we're talking about the reservists, hundreds of thousands, but technology is going to play an important part in the next steps.
Yeah, we have to remember that Israel's tech sector makes up almost a fifth of the country's GDP, 30% of its tax revenue, 50% of total exports, and 14% of its workforce. So it's vital to Israel's economy, but also to its defense. One reason the tech sector has got so big in Israel is because of defense. The multitude of defense contractors, both at home and abroad, who have been snapping up these Israeli startups' innovations. I'll give you one example. The company Edgy Bees started as an augmented reality gaming company, but now they've got contracts with multiple Israeli defense entities for their software, you can see here, which maps live video footage onto satellite imagery. So, for instance, if you have a drone which is taking live footage, or a surveillance aircraft, well, sometimes there could be buildings that have already been destroyed, there could be a lot of smoke, it could be at nighttime, difficult to see what's going on. So this technology, called georeferencing, superimposes satellite imagery to give you a clearer picture of what's actually going on behind the rubble, the darkness, something obscuring the vision. And the CEO, Shay Harnoy, told me that this technology that Edgy Bees has developed could be vital for increasing the accuracy of surveillance and limiting civilian casualties, especially when it comes to densely populated areas like Gaza.
Accuracy has the potential and does save lives on both sides. And understanding what you're looking at, understanding what you're seeing and where its true location is absolutely critical. And so today we work with certain Israeli defense entities as well as international ones, where we're helping to improve the accuracy of the data feeds they're receiving and what they're looking at. And this has a number of applications. By far, the vast majority of surveillance aircraft are there to understand what's going on, where the rocket's coming from, where the militants hiding, where the hostages potentially, right? That's what this data is being used for. And having it combined with multiple data sets, having it combined with having it be dependable is absolutely important.
This is, of course, just one of many technologies that Israel may look to deploy in this war. We've covered a lot this week. My colleague Julia Seeger has talked about GPS jamming, lasers, robots. You can watch those back on our website.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, you've also been looking at basically the confidence in Israeli tech taking a hit. And it's not just down to what happened on October the 7th.
Absolutely not. Things were very difficult for the Israeli tech sector well before this war started. Investments in Israeli tech plummeted by about up to 70% before the war. This isn't just because of the global turndown that we've seen across the tech industry, but also because there's been political turmoil in Israel. Many tech workers joined these massive protests that we saw against Benjamin Netanyahu's government for their controversial judicial reform. Tech executives were speaking out against this. This turmoil further spooked investors and sent Israeli tech companies to move staff abroad, hire abroad, move their money abroad. So now with the war and more than 300,000, as you say, Israelis drafted, we've actually seen some of these tech companies in Israel lose 10, 20, 30% of their staff to this draft. And of course, now lots of them are going to have teething problems as they pivot towards more of a war footing. So it's no surprise the government is now looking to shore up support for its literally embattled tech sector. I mean, just on Thursday, Israeli media reported the government was investing 24 million euros in around 100 startups, Gavin.
It's really interesting. Peter, our tech editor, Peter O'Brien, thank you.